a lot of people are suspicious of a lot of the apparatus that you oversee. You oversee different roles that are ultimately there. Some of that comes from what I briefly mentioned is the changing guidance on masks, which I think, was a mistake. I think the former Attorney General talked about how they shouldn't have done that way. But also too, it's the question of, and I got to tell you, for me, I tell people believe the CDC, and then I see people from the CDC go on and change language about mothers to pregnant persons and things of that sort. So it's hard for me. It's becoming increasingly hard for me in the last few months, as one who wants to be your champion, when the apparatus that is under NIH and all the health stuff seems to have been caught up in some of the currents of the day. So why should I, as an evangelical Christian who believes that mothers have children, and yet that's different language now coming from different parts of areas you oversee, then say, but what they're saying about the virus, which I believe, remember, I'm on your team, but I'm having to answer these questions to people in my churches. So how would you answer that as a fellow evangelical that I trust?
Well, I would say, first of all, it's probably not a surprise to any of us that all human institutions have flaws. And that certainly applies to government institutions and to churches as well. They're created by human beings. We have this incredible wisdom that is poured into rusty vessels, and it doesn't always come out quite the way you would like. And so be a little bit accepting of the fact that institutions are always going to have these flaws. But then try to look past that. And again, let's come back to this issue about what is the truth. And if there's something I'm really worried about, more than even COVID-19, it's this sense that we've become unmoored from an appreciation that truth is what really matters, that we will be guided by that. And if we start to step away from that, even if we don't like the message, well, where will we be? And this is not just the secular world that's all about alternative facts. It's the church too. If we've lost that, if the truth is what we need to set us free, well, the alternative is not a place that is going to have a future. So yeah, okay, go ahead and be frustrated about institutions that don't say things quite the way you want. I hear you. But ask, what's the truth here? And where are you most likely to find it? And I would say you're going to find a lot more truth in the CDC website than on Facebook.
No, I agree with that. I would be remiss, and people will yell at me if I didn't say, I think also the truth is that mothers are the people who are pregnant and have children. And so it's hard hearing from you, who I know, and I know your journey. I know you love the Lord. That's kind of a hard message. I want to say to you, yes. Can you address that in some of your areas that you oversee as well? Because that's true too. We got to follow the science in multiple places. But again, remember, I'm on Francis Collins' team. I'm trying to answer people who I say, listen, you got to go to the CDC website, believe the truth. And they say, you mean the same CDC website that can't say that mothers are pregnant. So it's harder for us to persuade those conversations. So what I hear you saying,
I'm really sorry that those issues are getting tangled up here, believe me. And I'm not the director of the CDC.
Right.
And I am worried that, in fact, the credibility of some of the things we're trying to say gets all muddied over with some of these other issues that are very controversial. So I totally hear you.
Okay.